Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me.
Yes.
You in my business? Yeah, don't do that. Anywho.
Hello, so I'm answering my thoughts on divorce. To me, I think that if you guys are not working out together, then you should absolutely get a divorce. Especially if you have a family, there's no point in putting your family through that stress. But I do believe that you should look for the right person in a marriage so that you don't have to come to that conclusion, and make sure that that's the right person for you so that you don't have to go through that burden of going through a divorce.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shania, and I was given the opportunity by my girl Keisha Jones to answer a question. And the question that I chose was, what was my thoughts on divorce? So me personally, I feel like once you get married, you're supposed to be locked in and you're supposed to be all for the relationship, only one relationship. But some stuff don't go as planned. So divorce could definitely be a good option for some people. Some people might not be happy, or it might be other situations that's the relationship just not what it was. And so I definitely feel like divorce is a good option. But me personally, I don't want to go through that because it just seems like it's just so much that goes with it. But I definitely have some type of family members that have experienced that, and it's no love lost. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. But you guys can add me on Instagram at Naya Kemp, and that's NIYACAMPP.
Hi. The question I chose to respond to was my thoughts on divorce. Now, I don't agree with divorce, but I understand why people get divorced. So, it comes a time where it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't love that person anymore. It can be you have put up with them for so much and you've been through so much with them to the point where you love them enough to let them go and love them from a distance. That doesn't necessarily mean that you hate them, or this is the end of you guys' relationship. But maybe it's just not your time. Maybe things have spiraled to a point where you can't take it anymore, and I understand that. In my opinion, I stick it through. My husband is my husband. I vow before God to be with you through whatever, and I'm going to stay that way. But I understand if things to hit the fan and you just can't take it, you gotta go.
Last question is, what are your thoughts on divorce? If that nigga ain't doing right, get that head, get that bread, then leave him. No, I believe, this is what I do believe. When you marry, you have to, work on it. Like, go to marriage counseling, all that stuff. But, it's so much that a woman can take, far as, constantly cheating, or, you marry and you get somebody pregnant. Bitch, bye, I'm gonna divorce your ass and take all your money. But no, I believe heavily on divorce. I don't know. I'm just not with settling for a motherfucker who ain't trying to be with me. And that's it. That's all the questions. And I really appreciate doing this. This was very fun. I love the questions. Hopefully I be selected to do something else like this. But thanks again. And this is your girl, Sky, aka Dweller.
I felt compelled to supply my input. I mentioned in my marriage comments that that marriage was honorable, and I grew up in a situation where I witnessed my grandparents' marriage basically from my birth until my grandfather's death. All I witnessed was him and my grandmother together, married together. So I grew up thinking there's no way I would be in a situation where I would experience divorce. I'd never go through that. It's till death do you part. You're supposed to be together. You're supposed to get it figured out. You're supposed to fight through the tough times. You owe it to that person to still trust them to work through things. One person can't do that, though. And there are times where people grow apart. There are times where divorce is the best thing that you can do for your family. I didn't think that 10 years ago. I didn't believe that 20 years ago. I believe it now, that if it's for the best, and it's clearly for the best, I mean, children growing up in a toxic situation just for the sake of you staying together isn't good for them. You remaining in a toxic situation or something that's unfulfilling just for the sake of saying we stay together, that's not good for anyone either. Someone who's costing you everything, emotionally, financially, psychologically. I mean, you're losing a battle, and it's rough on everyone in the circumstances. You got to get out. The problem, I think, really, it's all about marrying people for all the wrong reasons anyway. Not understanding things on the front end, or not paying attention to things on the front end, or being in denial about things on the front end. You probably know this person isn't for you, but you want to look at your circumstances, such as they're attractive, or the sex is good, or we have children together, or they have a great career. You look at all these things, and you feel like these are my measuring sticks. They meet the barometer, instead of understanding who they are as a person. Excuse me. So, who they are as a person, and how they are towards you, and how they are towards those you love, how they are in turmoil or controversy, how they respond when things don't go their way. All these things you may have shoved to the side, or may not have paid as much attention to, or have not placed at a high place of, I'm sorry, I'm reading messages at the same time, have not placed at a high on the totem pole regarding your expectations and the demands you have for your own life. You have to be careful. Marriage is supposed to be forever, so you can't base temporary feelings on a forever union. That decision is rough, and that life is even rougher. So, not to say you can be positively sure, stuff happens, but try your best to make that selection better.
Champion.